Okay, so let me summarize this section here. And I'm going to be brief because I know I've been summarizing probably a little too much along the way. But instead of summarizing and going through all, you can just go watch those videos again. I want to summarize by saying, what are we really trying to do in the big picture here? Because it sounds very mechanical. There's a lot of muscles that need to be engaged, and it sounds like a lot of work. But what are we really trying to do is that we're learning all these things so that in the end we can, in a way, they become new habits and we can forget about them. Because the idea is that we're playing an instrument. So what we need to do is remember that in the end, it's all about musicality. It's all about expression and musicality, such that it's always best to keep in mind that this is a very organic process. It's not as mechanical as it might sound having watched these first few videos, is that in the end, you're playing this part of the instrument as if you're playing another, like you're playing the piano with your hands or the guitar with your hands, except you can't touch it. So the muscles in your gut, in and around your gut and in your back, are the equivalent of your hands. They're playing these airbags, right? You have to play them by stretching them, filling them with air, and then finding a way to control how much pressure you need at any given moment based on what you're singing, the pitch you're singing at, how thick your vocal folds are, the emotion you're trying to communicate. And all those things are controlled very organically, very musically, using these muscles down here. And it's, you know, there's a good expression, what was it called? You know, it takes a day to learn and a lifetime to master, right? A day to learn and a lifetime to master. Is there's so many things, even after 2 years of working as hard as I've been working, I feel like in some ways I'm maybe not quite scratching the surface, but I feel like I'm not even halfway to what I'm going to learn in terms of awareness and developing that, the subtleties of musicality. As if I'm still pretty much immersed in developing the muscles and the technique, and I'm now feel like I'm in my training is where I'm learning a lot more of the musicality and the subtleties, which are also part of keeping the knees loose and the hips loose and the shoulders loose, so that while this stuff is engaged, the other things don't lock up. No clenching, no squeezing, right? Okay, so that's the wrap up here. I got 2 more exercises for you that are very good, and I'll just add them here for you to think about and to practice as well. And then we're going to move to the next lesson, which will be the intonator. Okay, so one great thing that I was shown, actually in my first lesson in my first semester of opera studies, is blowing up balloons. So a great thing about blowing up balloon is when you're blowing up the balloon, you can keep all of this open. The air passage is completely open, and you can start and stop and accelerate your breathing and get this feeling of how everything's connected, how from all the way down here at the bottom and where the air is being produced, all the way kind of up to where it's coming out, is you want to keep it all open and connected. And blowing up balloons is a great way. In a way, I'll show you, I got 2 different balloons and I'll show you the other one in a second. But just simply getting the balloon to near full, you're going to feel it's a great way to feel the diamond being active, the internal part of the belly being firm but soft enough or flexible enough to move in, all these muscles engaged in the bottom. You can, of course, activate the back, and you feel this column of air moving in and out, you know, will out as you're blowing up the balloon. Now, that's why I was giggling before, as I actually went out and bought these giant party balloons a couple years ago. With a bigger balloon, you get more resistance, and so you can practice even harder on this driving down on the inhale and exhale with more resistance and a bigger bag to fill. These things are kind of poorly made, so they're hard to blow on, so let me give it a go. So I'm taking, with this, I'm taking an inhale in the nose and then continuing to fill the bag. So it's actually, it might not be fun to watch, but it's actually fun to do. And you really, with the bigger, thicker balloon, you actually do get you get a workout out of it if you sit and do it for even just 3 to 5 minutes. But it is an absolutely excellent way to feel exactly what you've learned through these series of videos on the aerator. So let's wrap it up here, and please pause and do these exercises. These are the real simple exercises because we haven't yet added the other 2 parts where we can then do combination exercises where we're working on all either 2 or 3 parts together at the same time. But work on these breathing exercises, make a little bit of sound, get yourself some balloons if you can. And, oh, I had one more exercise to show you. So here we go, right before I'm wrapping up. Panting. So panting like a dog. Here in Portuguese in Brazil, they actually call it, the exercise is called cachorro. Which is the word for dog. It's panting like a dog. But what you do is try to get yourself panting. I think we used to pant along. Primates actually pant. Humans don't because we can perspire through our skin. But animals that can't release heat and perspire through their pores and their skin, they pant to accomplish the same thing, to release a lot of body heat. And I think we may have used to do this because it takes a little practice to get it going, but it's actually quite good. And again, what you're trying to do by doing it is make this connection where the air is coming in and out with good support and nothing squeezing. So I'm going to do it here. I don't know how I can demonstrate this well through the video, but and you can do it slow. Usually it's pretty quick. And you can do it silently. You might hear a little bit of sound coming from here, but you want to relax. The more you can relax here, the better you can do the exercise. And that's the purpose of the exercise, is to get the false vocal folds and some of these muscles, reactive muscles here around the voice box, to get them to just relax and stay open, but keep this down lower gut thing kind of, it's vibrating or pulsating to produce that feeling of panting. So, blow up balloons, practice your panting, practice breathing silently, and practice doing it either on the hum nasal sound or opening your mouth a little bit on the knee to get a little more sound if you want to do that. And then let's go into the next lesson, okay?